Paul and I were just playing a game called This Would Be Phone, or This Phone Would. God, I can't even.
Good morning, Brad.
Ah.
You doing there?
Well, I was trying to do this thing where I said this phone would be good if that would be
Perfect.
like the game, right? So I have another game for you, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
This game streaming service is available where? It
By
is
where? You mean on what devices?
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
what
so
countries.
so I talked about it yesterday, but I got access to that Luna. I signed up for it. I started playing it. And then I'm starting to write the post about it. And I was like, okay, so Luna is available on PC, Fire Sticks, iOS, and Mac. Stadia is available on PC, Chromecast, some Android devices, but not iOS. And then you have xCloud from Microsoft that is only available on all Android devices, but not iOS or the PC.
Yeah, so you could make a little matrix.
Yeah, so that's what I was starting to do. Was like
There is no one platform
No.
or device that supports all of the services.
Luna
I mean,
is
it will change.
the closest one, but it doesn't support Android, which seems like the odd one because that seems like that should be the easiest one. But
Well, so the problem is Amazon makes Android devices and they have their own store.
yeah,
So Amazon will have to make versions for their own devices and then separate versions that go in the Play Store. And then, of course, well, whatever. You have to support all the different Android devices on it.
anyways, so
How is it?
I haven't tried it on my phone yet. That's my thing that I'm going to do after we do this podcast. But it's fine. I'm using it.
A what? Xbox controller?
Yeah, I'm using an Xbox controller hardwired into my PC, running it in a browser. There's definitely some like visual quality. You can see it like downsampling on occasion. It's the same story for every like sort of streaming service, right? If you're a hardcore gamer, this is not for you. Like it's a non-starter.
Yeah, but who's a hardcore gamer really?
Right.
And by the way, I'm using it's Hulu now, but I used to use YouTube TV. So for sports, and I'll put the baseball game on or a football game or whatever, and for the first 5, maybe even 10 seconds, it looks like a YouTube video from 2003, and then it kind of clears up and then it looks normal. And I assume that's what streaming is. I mean,
And so it's the bigger challenge now, at least on Luna, is that there's not a lot of good games. Like there's a couple. And I think that's where Microsoft is winning with xCloud by all means, is that they've got more titles.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're at least using the right model. I think the problem with Stadia is that you have to buy games.
Yeah. That's part of the story too, is that Stadia has the wrong model.
Which is weird. You think Google would be all over the subscription model? Maybe what they found out was to get certain games, they had to offer them for sale.
I guarantee that's probably what it was. Like, we're not going to go into your little bucket of fun, but we'll let you sell our game. Give us a cut.
Yeah,
and
they should do both, though. That's stupid.
Yeah, I bet that was the easier route for them to get up and running, and then they'll probably try to transition, I would imagine. But
I mean, we've never really talked about this. How is Stadia?
I haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no reason, because if I'm going to go play a game, and let's be honest, I don't play a ton of games. Primarily, it's like Call of Duty, and I'm not playing Call of Duty on Stadia. I don't even know if you can. I play Destiny infrequently, but again, I could play it on Stadia, which is a suboptimal experience compared to the box that I have underneath the TV with a 5.1 surround sound on an OLED TV.
Right.
So
to reference the earlier game we were playing, this phone would be perfect if. I was just looking at my Google Pixel 4 XL. This phone would be perfect if it was made of polycarbonate and it had an ultra-wide camera. But it's not, and it doesn't. So it's not perfect. Like the Google Pixel 4a, same thing, would be perfect if there was an XL variant and it had an ultra-wide camera. It would be perfect. Perfect for my needs. Not really perfect. Huawei would be perfect if it actually had Google Apps and Services.
Yeah.
Was actually sold in this country.
Yeah. What about iPhone?
You do it with anything,
Well, you haven't gotten yours yet, have you?
My
iPhone, whatever one you bought.
No, I was just telling my wife we're going to want to be on the outlook for that when it arrives, because I'm not going to let that guy leave it at the door and walk away. Like, if that doesn't look like a phone-shaped box, not putting up with that. I can tell you that. So, no, it's supposed to arrive tomorrow.
Gonna get a bag of marbles or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be good if it came before we do FRD live at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, yeah, it could. I mean, the problem, of course, is tomorrow everyone's getting an iPhone.
Right.
So
Except for me.
the FedEx, well, I mean, a lot of people are getting an iPhone. So, the FedEx thing is going to be a little on the busy side, I suspect. But yeah, I mean, my FedEx normally arrives middle of the morning, late morning. It happened when I was at the gym yesterday or whatever day that was, 2 days ago. So I take one day off from the gym every week. And I think tomorrow is going to be that day.
That's going to be the day you're.
Yeah, I'm going to set up a chair on the front porch.
I was going to, or you could be like me. You can do that
cable out there.
That slow pace in front of the front door where you're looking, like you hear like a large truck coming. You're like, is that it? And then
it's Paul outside with an umbrella and a lawn chair.
I mean, the mojito I understand, but
yeah, exactly. It's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, so I found this little Easter egg, and then I had some good laughs on it on Twitter. So if you go look at the Edge announcement on Linux, they have this nice graphic at the top, and I guarantee whoever made this just put zero thought into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's the one I used in my...
Yeah, that's where I saw it. And so if you notice, Paul, there's a glass of water there, and it's like 3/4 of the way full. I'm like, oh, so I guess on Linux it's not half full.
Nice. It is a weird, minimalist, almost Miami Vice thing. I suppose it was meant to resemble.
It's whatever. I don't think that's what they intended, but I saw this like, there's a little subtle
look like a typical Linux user's office. I will say that. Like there's no like empty wrapper of those like really crappy supermarket donuts or old bottle bags of Cheetos.
No Mountain Dew.
No cola. Yeah.
Could we get any more stereotypical?
Beard trimming devices. Wool hats.
We haven't made anyone angry in a while, so why not make that day today?
That's true.
I can't believe I'm so screwed up on the days of the week. But whatever. Here we are. It's Thursday. Not much really happened yesterday in comparison to what happened earlier in the week.
Yeah, I mean, right. That previous day was such a big deal that it kind of felt like it could float the entire week. Yeah, there really wasn't much. I mean, Acer announced 1 million new PCs for some reason.
They
look great, but like, geez.
The only semi-interesting thing that has happened is that Microsoft is finally going to be bringing native Teams notifications to Windows. I mean, they've only had Teams available for 3 years and Windows 10 available for over 5, and they've only had a native notification platform in Windows 10 since the beginning. And so finally, starting next month, you're going to be able to switch that if you don't want to use the Teams flyout, so you can use the Windows.
This is something I'll never notice because I turn those off. Well, except for and I turn off all the sounds. So actually, I guess what do we call it? Notification toast that comes out when you call for this show. I do see that actually.
Yeah, I should probably now that I think about it, what I should turn off. I have every single notification in Windows 10 turned off except for Teams, just because it wasn't tied into the notification center.
The worst one, and this is like every time I get a new phone, it's the same thing. You kind of, over time, you turn these things off, And like the other day, like this is a fairly new install, and I don't use Skype as much anymore because we're using Teams, obviously.
Yep.
But I have a few friends who Skype me, and they type a sentence, hit enter, it's like bleep, bleep, type a sentence, bleep, 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 and then you can feel that your blood pressure going up and up, and then you turn it off.
What I wish there was some sort of like smart notification thing. Like, for example, if Paul sends me 5 messages in a row, exactly like that, I only need like one vibration on my wrist. Like I don't need one for each.
We noticed you were yelling into an empty room like someone with Tourette's. Would you like us to turn off the notification sound? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I would be. That would be like what they should. All they got to do is set like maximum 1 notification from per person per minute, and that would solve it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right.
That's the condition.
Yep. Anyway, whatever. Honestly, the truth is, if they did that every minute, this thing would ring, and I would still reach a point where I'd say, "Okay, I got to turn this sound off."
Or just let the user define it. Like, only send me notifications once every 30 minutes or something, or an hour. Pick your interval. That would be user friendly.
Or just send a notification sound when it's someone else.
Yeah.
if you're in a conversation with someone and you're switching between apps, because, let's face it, I'm not sitting there just staring at it, waiting for them to write back. Just tell me when it's someone else. It's still, I see the notification in the taskbar. Like, I still know it's happening. It might be delayed by a minute or something because I'm busy, but then that's the way it should be.
Yeah, notifications actually are pretty dumb right now, just across the board in general, because there's no intelligence behind it. It's just blank.
Or it could be Samsung. Speaking of no intelligence, still haven't sent this phone back. I got to get going on that. I'm supposed to send it back last week, but anyway, I've switched to a different phone. But I just plugged it in so I could get it charged up and then reset it. But I just got a notification sound on it, and so I'm like, oh, that's weird. I should have put that in Do Not Disturb mode. So I just turned it on, brought down the little notification shade. It is in Do Not Disturb mode. And by the way, granted, it's an important notification. Somebody liked something I did on Instagram, and I guess I need to know about that. So do you mind if I deal with this and then we'll finish the show later? It's obviously super important. Oh, boy.